After spring, there will definitely be many people dressed in formal clothes, sleepy men, and beautiful women. Let me introduce how bottle the appearance configuration of this platform is, but as an old-school car reviewer, I am more inclined to talk to you about other things about this car. Well, first of all, there are currently more pricing hardware and perception hardware than previous drives, because there are 3 cameras in this inclined plane. If I remember correctly, the question should be 2 above and 1 below, but this one has 4 cameras and a group phone, which is a whole car. There are also ordinary mouth-shaped versions, computer versions, and electronic weighting versions in the configuration. Now, it doesn't look as good as ordinary weighting mirrors, but will it start with this one? This electronic consumption has become the mainstream of good looking, so it's hard for others to say. It may not be true that I want to change everyone's aesthetics, but Huawei, I think it's really possible to have this ability from a degree of perspective. Okay, let me take a look at other places. To the primary school institutional part. This big cake is hand polished and polished. There is no problem with this, and there is no book in this dragonwood cover. But I guess it is similar to the rotary style. After running, he won't, and it will always keep the same state when he follows it. It is more noble, and the baggage inside the whole inner wheel hole is very good. It is not a simple towel or a material of functional plastic, but there are also some small backflow materials on it. Then, besides the visible materials like aluminum and gold, there are also additional circuit systems involved in the frame selection portion. The value of semi-living should be equipped on the field. Let's just say a word. Personally, I think that there is already such a light-emitting lamp which is made into a digital. Would it be better to use a light factory screen? Because these light spots don't have such a kind of skill or just go along with the broadcast, so it's better to make them that kind of dynamic. In this case, this kind of every car. The starry sky is all different. It feels like it will have more marketing selling points. Finally, the door handle. Many people must want to see this door handle. It just wants to have a feeling of hands in the morning. When you touch it, it looks like the starry sky. But it is not a hidden handle like the low wind group. The reason is very simple. At this size, it is no longer the primary principle to cause risk to the car. It must be noble and easy to use. The speech pop-up is this bus, but it is not easy to use. Look, this time I will give you a normal electric power-on view and simplify its cost through buttons. I think this design is on the entire bus. I have seen the most connected subway design so far, which is very good. This rear design is actually a place that many people question. That is the shape of a reverse barrel car. Now it's like this, isn't it enough to squat? Then I can say responsibly that the current new energy driving is because there is a fixed battery, a fixed motor, and even a very complex rear wheel system, the steering system, right? Therefore, it has a trade-off between the rear height and the comfort of passengers in the car, and it is a trade-off between space and mechanical structure. At present, there is no way to reconcile with new energy, so it is a question. Do people in the market sit comfortably, or do people outside look at me and feel that it is inevitable and may not be comfortable if everyone outside looks inside because the space will become smaller? But if it is the other way around, I will let people inside sit in bottles first and then slowly change everyone's view on appearance, because after all, it is the era of new energy, which is different. It's not that it's impossible, so I think this idea is still possible, and it's not that I've never seen it before. It should be on the Phantom of Lauslas, and the tail is basically the same, saving so many writing degrees. It's not that there are no such marks as before at all, but what can be seen is that from the middle of this round to the long rear space in this position can be seen. This rear row should be a squatting rear cloth type. I think this one is something I personally don't like because of the design of its taillights. Although the inside and the front are Xinghui's DBS type, but the mouth is made of plastic and the outer mouth is a little cheap. It's a micro and then Jack Biao, so everyone knows it. In fact, people will often say this thing in the future, but what? All kinds of things are operable within a range of operations. This is very appropriate, but one small detail I want to talk about is the rear and rear of the D car. This window, not only is it small, but it also has a weakly connection, hidden silk curtain. So when he is driving the car, he looks at the back through the mirror. So there are 2 tops on the top, 2 tops on the top, and then what? There are also 2 upper water ridge heads. Why are there two May blossoms? Can't one work? I guess this is also related to Huawei's new ads. Ads are not only daily, but also need functions such as middle road vehicles, forgetting zone monitoring, anti-collision warning, etc. For example, there is an extended one to match this. I think the camera is better. Plus I have 4 cameras on both sides, plus the camera on the front of the car, plus the Guanghuida. This one is really good. There are so many that I dare not lose now. There is no problem.